Cool. Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, cool.
All right. Let me just go ahead and start that music. Oh, what's up, Clumpsters? It's the legendary Clumpy Minkus.
I can tell.
Hey,
Dude,
so I
it's
found
been a
this theory
minute since
online.
I've been on Twitch.
You said what?
Said it's been a minute since I've even been on Twitch, in any kind of form.
Really?
Yes, dude.
Interesting. I'm usually on it just to like host or whatnot.
Yeah.
Let me do that.
Let me pull up some that I found, because... Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you one theory that I literally saw that I think is extremely intriguing. So it's Senior Scratchy is Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratch.
That's what I told you before, I think.
I think you said that he was Quicksilver. Yeah, you said he was Quicksilver.
Well, because that would make the most sense. Because, I mean, technically speaking, this is just one of those, like, one-offs where it's like, you never see the same two people in the same scene. You never see the Rabbit and Quicksilver in the same scene.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So that could be, like, Quicksilver could still be her son, and then he takes the form of a rabbit kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's possible.
Possible.
It is possible.
This point is the MCU. MCU. You can't put anything past them at this point.
Nah, it's WandaVision. Great. You can't put anything past the show.
So.
But wait, let me expound on this real quick.
Go for it. You
may have read the same thing, but I'm just going to read it. It says Scratch was the mayor of a town called Centerville where all the inhabitants were possessed by demons. Patsy Walker, which was Hellcat, discovered this, and her and the Avengers saved the town. During this crucible, Hellcat discovered that Scratch didn't serve Mephisto. He served Dormammu. Which...
Okay, so there's a little bit of a theory there.
Yeah, so it's like, what if Agnes is serving Mephisto, but her son is serving Dormammu? Yeah.
That'd be an interesting way to go. At this point, let's be real about tomorrow's episode, because of the fact I think it's just going to be a recap episode.
And that's recapping what?
How everybody got there, how Agatha got there, how Wanda got there, how it all came about, because now we have the show's main villain. You know what I mean?
Quote,
because I still think main villain, because it's too late in the series to unveil a new main villain for the series itself. You can still have a main villain for the MCU, you know what I mean, or leading into the next couple of movies. However, I don't see them unveiling, for example, Mephisto in the next 2 episodes as the main villain of WandaVision, because that would just be a little bit too much, and it would be difficult to explain, you know what I mean? However, one way that they could go about it, and I hope they go about it, is, episode 8 is going to be a recap episode. Have it to where at the end of it, Agatha is talking to someone. We don't see who this person is. All we see is the silhouette, and we just leave it at that.
So,
build the suspense for it, and put that suspense in the other movies.
So I'm going to twist that a bit. I don't think tomorrow's a recap episode. I think the following episode's a recap episode. I think tomorrow's the whole... I mean, it could be a recap episode. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
But it could be just like the after the climax of what happened last episode. It could just be like Monica's trying to break free. You'll see some flashbacks with Wanda, but it's really just like Agatha starting to take control of things and more confrontation with Hayward. and then something at the end of that episode will unveil like a huge flashback where the following episode's gonna be like all recap, so to speak.
I could see that, but at the same time, I don't see them putting an action battle scene before a recap. You know what I mean?
Wanda goes to therapy. She needs to go to therapy, man.
Facts. Now, again, I don't see them doing that. They very well could. I hope they don't do that. It would make way more sense plot-wise to have the recap of how everything started and then go into the main, like, battle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
it could be.
Also, to support your the theory that you read about Senor Scratchy being Nicholas Scratch, and to kind of support the both of them that Quicksilver could also be the same person, is because at the end credit scene of episode 7, we see a shadow move in the window next to Monica. You know what I mean? And then out of nowhere, Evan Peters' Quicksilver arises.
I mean, that could also be a third party in the window, and he was just outside.
It could very well be a third party, but that also kind of supports the theory of Nicholas Scratch being both Senor Scratchy and Quicksilver. You know what I mean?
It's a possibility. It is a possibility. I'm not against it. I wonder, so if they go that route, would they have Nicholas Scratch be Evan Peters, or would they have him as like a completely different actor?
So, from what I've read up on, Evan Peters was also in American Horror Story.
Yeah.
And that particular role he did not like because of the fact of how draining it was for him and how much it took out of him, essentially. It goes back to the whole Joker. And every actor who plays Joker never wants to play Joker again because of how draining it is on your mental health. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Evan Peters kind of put it into that perspective. Not on the same level, but in that perspective. So, if they do unveil a Nicholas Scratch, I think they go different actor because I don't see Evan Peters wanting to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that he could just continue on, and maybe he comes out as, like, the rebooted, Quicksilver. But, yeah, I think they would go with a different actor if that's Nicholas Scratch.
Exactly. Could also be... Okay, I just want to clear something up, too, for all the theorists out there who say Dottie's the missing person or the mailman's the missing person. We have not seen Jimmy Woo's missing person.
Yeah.
We have not seen them because they would be ID'd and they would be no longer missing. They wouldn't show up in the show because Jimmy would know already who they are. So we have not seen them. We also it also can't be Dottie because they confirmed that it was a man that was missing.
They still hadn't ID'd Dottie. They've ID'd the mailman, but they have not ID'd Dottie.
We don't know if they've ID'd Dottie because we never saw the board anymore.
I mean, yes, but for the audience, they have not ID'd Dottie yet.
To our knowledge, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, they could have, and it's just not shown, but I don't think they've ID'd
because
her.
I really don't think she's a bigger part of anything.
Well,
Yes,
I'm iffy on it. I'm iffy on it, just because, like you were going to say, the actress has said that she plays a bigger role, and we haven't seen much of Dottie, but at the same time, it's like...
If she had a bigger role, she would have been unveiled as the bigger role already. Because the fact that we're going into the last 2 episodes,
3.
It's pointless for them to... 2. Number 10 has never been... it's just been rumored, never confirmed.
Whatever. But what if these last 2 episodes, 2 or 3, however, if they do the 10th, whatever, is like her, like she's very important and vital, because this goes into a theory that everyone says that she's Clea, or I've seen that she's Clea, which is a sorceress that marries Doctor Strange. And
I've seen different name, but I'm familiar with that one. Yes.
And I'm like, I mean, that'd be interesting to have another sorceress in there, and it would be a nice connection to Doctor Strange, because she'd be like, hey, I did some good. You want to get married? No, that's not how they would do it, but...
I don't think that's how they go about it. But
yeah. He's like, yeah, you got me sold.
Same principle applies.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's how marriage starts.
Oh, also, you know how we barely got an end credit scene?
Yeah?
It's because end credit scenes weren't made a thing until like the 2000s. That's why we got it when we got it.
Oh. Okay.
I need to read it.
Okay.
30 plus,
I didn't even catch that.
37 plus.
Then again, the credits are like 8 to 10 minutes long, so
Yeah.
they had to give us something.
Hold on. Yeah.
Demolished crash. The beginning crash.
I didn't realize where it was.
You don't know where you're at?
No, I'm doing some math right now.
What are you trying to math?
Because everybody's saying that the total runtime is what?
6. Well, the showrunner or the director or whatever confirmed it's 6 hours.
Okay. So.
And I think that's including credits.
Yes.
Wait, are you trying to see how long these last 2 episodes or 3 episodes are going to be?
I'm just proving a point right now.
Okay. I mean, I don't know who you're trying to prove it to.
Okay, so. Okay, showrunner confirmed 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
We're at 4.2 hours right now.
So we have 2 hours left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, about 1.5, but we have 2 hours left.
So.
That means
By
each
that
the
rule,
last 2
one
episodes.
episode could be an hour. The other one can't be an hour.
I was gonna say they'd both be like 45 minutes each or something like that.
Could very well be, but they're not going to be an hour like everybody's saying.
If they did the last 3 episodes as an hour. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Let me see.
Because say there's 2 episodes left. If you do last week's
technically
episode
speaking,
as an
technically
hour.
speaking, one of them would have had to be an hour and a half.
Out of these next 2 or out of...
So if they went 3, if they went the last 3, 7, 8, and 9, one of them would have had to be an hour and a half because total runtime of the 6 episodes was 3.5 hours.
So these next 2 episodes should be long or longer.
They should be a little bit longer. They're going to be the longest that we've seen, but they're not going to be an hour like everybody said.
I want them to be an hour. I'm so tired of these 30-minute episodes and 30-minute freaking credits.
To be fair, episode 5 was 41 minutes, and that's the longest that it's been.
I think what happened in episode 5 was the recap, wasn't it?
No, episode 5 was the twins being born. Or not the twins being born, but
I'm looking this up.
it was when Quicksilver showed up.
Oh. Is that a fact?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm clicking on it right now, so I'm about to
Because
find
he
out.
showed up right before the Halloween episode.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's the episode Quicksilver popped up. 42 minutes long. Huh.
41.
40. It says 42 on the app, on the website.
There's 41 on the app.
I can screenshot it and show it to you. It shows 42 on my end, man.
On my... Dude, that's weird. On my end. I'm not lying to you on my end. It shows 41.
Bro. The frick. Okay, so these last 2 episodes were like 38 minutes each.
Yeah.
So the show has gotten like longer as it's progressed.
It got super long and then it shortened, which I don't understand.
Well, in episode 5, a lot of stuff did happen.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of did happen. We saw the fight between Wanda and Vision. We saw
Quicksilver.
We saw Hayward sending the email to Vision inside the Hex.
Yep.
Somehow.
Yeah, that's got to be explained. I don't know. Well, if you use 80s tech or whatever time period that was tech to email, then that would make sense.
But you have to have an email to email.
Wait, where did they get those computers from?
We don't know.
What if he provided it to them?
How could he provide it to them though when he can't get in the hex?
Well, how else would they get this equipment?
I don't know. That's the thing. You see where the questions are?
Yeah, I see where the questions are. I'm just saying them aloud.
I'm starting to really like the theory that Hayward is Ultron.
I was literally gonna go into that one next.
I'm starting to really
Because the voice actor for Ultron is in the series cast list.
because of the fact that they mention Ultron, they have several flashbacks to it.
They don't have any
Also, you can't-
flashbacks to Ultron himself, but
You
the
also
voice
can't go off
actor
of
is there.
Google.
It's not just
By the
off
way.
Google.
I'm just saying you just can't go off of Google because it's not reliable because anybody can really add anything. I think IMDb too. I think they said IMDb anybody can add anything to it.
But aren't they able to like edit it as soon as they can, like Wiki?
Wiki doesn't edit it as soon as they can.
Okay, you're saying they just leave it there for like a fat minute?
They leave it there forever until somebody goes in and changes it again.
But I'm still, I think Ultron would be in like a flashback purpose, unless Hayward's Ultron, which that would be, and then they do the LMDs, which helps tie in Agents of Shield. That would be dope as frick.
So the sad thing about that part is Agents of Shield has already been rebunked as canon.
No, it's not.
It's been done.
What do you mean?
I forget who said it or what, but somebody did confirm that it's not MCU canon anymore.
Bro, there's no way they made Agents of Shield non-MCU canon when it directly ties into the MCU.
I don't understand it either.
Yeah, I think that's a lie because Agents of Shield is definitely is MCU canon.
It was a confirmed source though.
Yeah, that confirmed shit was just bullshit.
I mean, it would just tie into it would be like, you know, everybody wanting to retro canon Rey from Star Wars.
Yeah, but that one's more legitimate. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like literally ties into it because when Fury went in there, he asked for a helicarrier that they've been working on forever, and that's how they got in Age of Ultron. And the Sokovia Accords also had a huge impact in the show as well.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, that source isn't right because the show itself is like directly into MCU. Like that weaves in there. Like, yeah, towards like the latter seasons, they don't do anything that impacts the MCU as much because of like time travel, quote quote, which they could
But
like.
that could be why it's retro canon now. You know what I mean?
But it's not like they mess up the timeline or anything.
Well, let's be real. Marvel messes up the timeline any chance they get.
I know. Call him Barry freaking Allen.
It's.
What about the theory that Hayward's the Grim Reaper?
I don't see it.
Really?
I don't see it. The only person that I could see Hayward being is Ultron.
Only Ultron.
Only Ultron. And that's only because of the fact that his obsession with Vision and trying to turn him into a sentient weapon. You know what I mean?
It could be that, and this one's a bit of a stretch, but it could be that he's like working for Trask or has a contract with Trask and is making Vision's body to use for like the Sentinels.
Are you talking about Trask like from X-Men Trask?
Yeah.
That dude is dead by now.
Dude, no.
Storyline-wise.
If don't go off the X-Men, like the Fox Universe storyline, just go off the MCU storyline.
So
Like,
they could be bringing Trask back.
yeah, if they went that route, because remember that stuff's not canon.
Technically, the actor is still in the MCU though. If they wanted to go with the same actor.
Oh yeah. I know Peter Dinklage is in it.
So I mean, that would be a good way to tie it in. I mean, that'd be good.
Because they would have to recast him, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, they would have to. They couldn't. They couldn't put Peter as it again.
I mean, unless they do something where it's like, in these next 2 episodes, Peter Dinklage Trask is in it. But I don't think that would happen because that was like an 80s thing, and that's when Evan Peters Quicksilver was there.
Also, I don't think they're bringing in any X-Men.
No, I know that.
I don't think. Well, there's a lot of theories about it. Talk about how Ian McKellen is the surprise appearance, and how oh my god, I'm blanking on the actor.
Ian McKellen, as in like the OG X-Men Magneto.
Yes.
Oh, no way they're gonna bring him in. The guy's too old.
They also have I'm blanking on all 3 of their names. Holy
Patrick
crap.
Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, yes. Fazbear?
Fazbear?
No, whatever his name is.
I'm like, who the frick is Fazbear?
I always call him Fazbear.
Freddy Fazbear? Like, jeez.
I don't know how to say his last name.
Fassbender?
Magneto. Yeah, it's that one.
Oh my gosh.
I call him Fazbear. Oh, it's easy.
Don't do that. Don't disrespect the man like that.
He's a great actor. It's not any disrespect to him. It's just
No, I know,
can't
man.
pronounce the name. Or even young Xavier.
Yeah, they're not gonna bring those guys in.
I don't see them bringing any of them in.
Well, like I've said to you before, Kevin Feige's he confirmed that the X-Men are like 5 years out. Like, they don't have plans on bringing them in right now.
Yeah.
Maybe like one to like let you like in mentioning, but they're not gonna bring him in for a while. Like, they're barely able to bring the Fantastic Four in, and that's gonna be in a couple of years.
They also just got rights back to Punisher.
Well, all of the Netflix Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Because Punisher and Jessica Jones were the last ones.
Yeah. Dude, okay. So, not theory related, but there's a TikTok that Angel showed me. That's the scene from WandaVision where they're watching the episode for the first time. Like Wu and Darcy and them.
Uh-huh.
How they're all watching it instead of it being the show, it's Tom Holland's lip sync battle performance.
That's traumatizing.
It's hilarious.
That's definitely traumatizing.
Anyway, again, I'm getting... Okay, so Nightmare is also being theorized. In the sense of he's the new villain because he's the villain in Doctor Strange 2, and WandaVision ties into Doctor Strange 2. But we do not know if he's the villain or not.
In the series, I don't think he is, just because of the way the episode ended with all the demonic-esque stuff. Like, it's 100% Mephisto is pulling the strings, and Agatha's obviously the one doing things. What I think is Mephisto's gonna appear in the show, but like in a quote-unquote cameo sense, where it's like this was all according to like Thanos in Avengers kind of deal.
Yeah, that's what I was saying though. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
but you said a silhouette. That's not much of a camo or cameo.
It is a cameo. I mean, you just don't see who it really. You know who it is, but you don't see him. You know what I mean? And the only reason that I say that is because of the fact that you know why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know why. But even at that reason is not valid because streaming services versus movies are completely different in those rules. You know what I mean?
In all honesty, though, I don't think they're gonna care. They're gonna do what they're gonna do to make money because people are gonna watch their stuff, whether it's legally or illegally.
You figure, even at that though, you know what I mean? You figure streaming services, they can even alter it just whenever, you know what I mean? They can, and they also have it too. And this is where I was watching a breakdown on it, breaking down all of the, cinema rules and the legalities behind it. You know what I mean? Um, just like Netflix does, just like Hulu does, just like Disney Plus does, they dictate what goes on to each variation of the app. Netflix has several different variations of Netflix with different programs to fit every market. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this isn't something that you can just alter when it's the big bad of the series. You know what I mean?
No. You can't alter it, but you can alter what is available to watch on the app. That's what I'm trying to say.
I got you.
You know, because I even saw it too, where apparently, I don't know if this is right or not, but apparently in certain countries, Family Guy is on Disney Plus.
How's Family Guy on Disney Plus?
I don't know. You know what I mean? But they've showed it, and they've literally saw it, because on certain Disney Pluses they have what's called Star. They have like Star on it. And
you mean Stars?
No. Not Stars. It's different than Stars.
Okay.
But that's where they have Family Guy under. It's just like Netflix. We have certain things, but Australia has the things that we really want to watch on Netflix.
Like what?
I forget what. That's always changing, but
they got stuff that we want. Like what? I don't remember. That's not the point.
I think I forget what it was. I think they had a lot of
Hey, what's up, Nova?
classic Nick shows on it. That the United States, some certain people in the United States wanted to watch, but they couldn't because the U.S. version didn't have it.
The stuff that we've gone over hold on, I'm just letting Nova the stuff that we've gone over. Our theories on Dottie, our theories on who Senior Scratchy is, and if Hayward is Ultron. We think Hayward might be Ultron, Senior Scratchy might be Nicholas Scratch, which is Agatha's son, and then Dottie, just stuff about Dottie. I think that's all we've got so far.
Yeah.
All right, but you can continue, man.
I mean, there's so many ways that they can go around it, and honestly, too, going that same route to piss people off, you do realize, like, there's been a huge praise for Marvel for bringing in both Billy and Tommy, who are predominantly part of the LGBTQ community.
Only Billy.
Both of them are. Tommy's bi in the comics.
What? Is he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. We had this conversation before.
I think you asked if they were both gay, and I said no.
Yeah, and then I did some research on my own and found out that Tommy is bi while Billy is gay.
Huh.
Now, taking that same...
Isn't her son's in the
rules,
devil
right?
group? Sinister 7? Whoa, let me check that out. I don't know anything about that.
I don't think that could be... I don't know. It's a very good question.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. But you know what I mean, though? Like,
Yeah.
following that same principle and those same rules, that isn't
What
allowed
up, Lazy?
in that media also.
So I'm
And then
looking.
you really think Marvel's gonna backtrack on that and piss off that community? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a slippery slope that Marvel has found themselves in, and they're gonna need to figure out a way to do it.
So real quick, Nova, they were both in like the Young Avengers. That's it. They were never part of like any devil group or anything.
Nova, what you're talking about is basically Billy and Tommy being parts of Mephisto's soul.
Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about.
That,
Which is
when
true.
When he put that in there, that made it clear. But yeah, they're part of Mephisto's soul. So that's why a lot of the theory about WandaVision, there's two theories that are going on right now about the twins. The first theory being they were reclaimed as Mephisto's soul. The second one being Agatha just ate them for lunch.
Yeah, which that could in turn just give them to Mephisto, but who knows? I think
Well,
it could
because,
be
I
the whole
mean-
eating thing, just because she's like, I did bite a kid once,
and she has been known
she's
to do that.
yeah, she's
in
known to like
comics.
eat kids. So
Yeah. Let's also talk about that song that they made for her.
song was kind of cool. No lie,
Like,
song was kind of cool.
Why did it have to go that hard though? You know what I mean?
And then at the end, and I killed Sparky too. Like, what the frick? Okay, you meant Agatha's children. Okay, hold up a second.
Oh, okay.
Let me check that out.
That actually, that might
You
be-
might be on the money on that, because when we were going over about Agatha's son earlier, Senor Scratch, he could be Nicholas Scratch, and they have been like rulers of certain cities of witches or like sorcerers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably what you're thinking of, because Agatha and Nicholas both ruled over a city full of sorcerers and whatnot. And then, what's his face? Nicholas ruled over a completely different city that were people possessed by demons. So I think that might be what you're talking about. I don't know. I'm gonna double check on that though.
Okay, so there's a question that came up, right?
Okay, what was the question?
It says, they say, I know this might be a stretch, but is it possible that Mephisto and Nightmare are the same or merged in the MCU?
You're all good, lazy. I ordered me some McDonald's before this, so no worries.
I had some fish and yeah.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I'm gonna get back to what you just said, Panda. Agatha was a part of the Salem 7, Nova.
Yes.
That's what it was. And that was Agatha's grandchildren that was fathered by Nicholas. That's what you're talking about. The Salem 7. And funny you mention that, they've gone up against the Fantastic Four a lot, from what it seems. Yeah, because of that, the Fantastic Four beat them, freed Agatha, because I guess she was under Nicholas's control. And then they banished Nicholas to a different dimension, and then Agatha became the tutor for the Scarlet Witch to use in witchcraft. So that would be nice. A little something, something. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Could be the whole Salem 7 kind of deal. Anyways, what were you said that
Basically,
Mephisto and Nightmare are the same person in the MCU?
Yeah, they merged them in the MCU, so that way it would be a good way to introduce Mephisto without having him be the devil.
Nah, I don't think so.
Two different agendas, two different powers, essentially. And it just wouldn't be a good combination.
Unless they do like a Palpatine, and it's like his clone that has his own will and consciousness, but he's still like in control of him. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't see that going over well, though.
I mean, I still don't think it's a good idea, but that's one way I could see them doing it in a fairly easy or fluid manner,
Less
I guess.
complicated way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't see that happening, though. I wonder who's going to be the villain for Doctor Strange 2 if it's not Nightmare.
Well, see, that's the thing. Sam Raimi hasn't said anything about it because of the fact that it was confirmed to be Nightmare with the old director. However, the director has since parted ways. You know what I mean? Now,
Dude, I like
the
completely
question
forgot that
is-
director left. I thought it was always Sam Raimi.
The question is Sam going to continue on the same path, or is he going to do something completely different?
He's here, let me look up who was supposed to direct that.
Nova, I don't believe so. It could very well be that Wanda is the villain in Doctor Strange 2. However, it's looking more like it's going to be Agatha along with somebody else.
Well, there was apparently that she is an antagonist at least one point in Doctor Strange 2 from some things that I read. She's not probably not like an overarching villain, but she'll probably have like an antagonistic role at one point or another.
Well, I mean, that would make sense probably. Like, that's what I said, you know what I mean? She's not going to be the main villain, but she might be in that role. I don't...
So to answer your question, Lazy, it was Scott Derrickson. He was the previous director for Doctor Strange 2, but left over creative differences. He's the guy that made the first Doctor Strange too, or the first Doctor Strange as well.
That is true. He did direct that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now,
oh, dude, he did The Day the Earth Stood Still.
oh,
Neato.
wow.
Yeah, I actually like that movie a lot.
I'm shocked about that one.
So, I think what they'll probably, because the Doctor Strange 2 is still going to be a horror-esque film, especially with Sammy Raimi coming on board. I'm pretty sure they're going to continue that route. I think.
See, go ahead.
Okay, so I was like, I'm pretty sure either Nightmare and or Mephisto, one of the other, is going to be in it. Probably Mephisto, just because the events of WandaVision is going to influence the next two phases, as confirmed, because they're going to do the whole multiverse events, and we can kind of tell that the unofficial trilogy with Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2, whatever happens in this show is going to affect those movies. Supposedly, in one of the pictures released for Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3, you know when the gang was inside that one room where it looked like there's a bunch of snow on the ground? That was supposedly the sanctum for Doctor Strange's sanctum, but just kind of like abandoned and snowed in kind of deal.
So, what set photos? Because I haven't seen anything about that. I've seen the ones that they put...
Here, pop on our Twitter, on the Black Party Twitter. I know I posted the set photos on there.
Okay, because I was going to say, I know they posted photos of like the set photos when they posted the spoofed titles, but that was about it.
Yeah, let me scrolling.
Also, they were saying too that this is a real stretch theory, but they're saying that Tom and them found Agatha's house, and that's where they're in on those set photos that they posted.
No, that is definitely a stretch theory. Sammy Raimi is going to be an interesting director choice for the movie. I mean, he's always wanted to work on Marvel movies. Like in '99, he wanted to direct a Thor movie that Stan Lee personally asked him to do, and he did the Spider-Man trilogy. And him doing Doctor Strange, I think he'll do great, especially because he's kind of starting out fresh. They didn't really work too much on the film yet, but I think... Oh, he did Evil Dead, huh? I did not know that. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I think he's gonna do good with this film. I hope it's trippy though. I really hope it's trippy.
I hate to burst the bubble.
What bubble?
But it might be less horror-esque now that Sam is there, because I believe the original director wanted to go straight horror.
Yes.
And, oh, that one. That photo.
Yeah, you see the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. I see. Yeah, he wanted to go straight horror, and he unveiled it when he was announced as the director, and then they backtracked. He stepped away, and then Feige backtracked on his words, on the director's words of it being straight horror. So it might be dumbed down horror, essentially. I'll say is I think it's still going to be a horror-esque. I don't think it's probably going to be as intense as we were going to have it be. Anticipate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is, you know, a bummer, but not much we can do on that.
They might tread the realm of thriller.
Of Michael
For their
Jackson.
sake, I hope they do, but it's up in the air at this point. It's just there's not much known about it, which is actually really great.
I hope that it's very suspenseful, because with the way they're kind of setting it up, it is going to be kind of darker for at least this phase. So we'll kind of just have to see what happens. But I believe in Sammy. I think he's gonna do. I think he's gonna do great.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to wait till after.
I agree.
To find out what happens.
Honestly, so I didn't realize this. I have not liked these past two Spider-Man movies. I think the villains were great. I think everything else was trash. And I didn't realize that John Watts, the guy that's doing these two movies, is the one in charge for the Fantastic Four movie. He's the director for it. And I'm not excited anymore.
Or what? Repeat that?
So the director for this Spider-Man trilogy is the director for Fantastic Four, the movie. And
Fantastic Four?
Yeah, the new one that's coming out. And I personally have not liked these movies. I liked the villains. I think Vulture was great. I liked the casting for it. I think they did great with him. Everything else was not good. Especially with the whole Shocker dying and then replacing him with the black guy kind of thing. It was just kind of weird. I'm like, you weren't even going to use... Anyways. And then in this... Then they use MJ, not the real MJ, but MJ. And I'm just like... Stop making MCU original characters to be his love interest. Can we just have, like... You know, Gwen Stacy or actual MJ or, you know, people that are from the comics there are a lot of them that are his love interests, you know? And Mysterio was great. Jake Gyllenhaal was a great cast for it. But everything else was not good. At all. And I'm not excited for this new movie. Just because, well, I mean, I want to be excited. But from what we've heard, it's going to be overwhelming, at least for a good little bit, from the rumors.
I don't think it's going to be overwhelming.
Jake was brilliant. Like, that was beautiful.
Yes.
And his Mysterio scenes, also beautiful. Way too much CG look, though. I think they could have made it more realistic looking. That's one thing they do with Spider-Man for some reason, is they CG the crap out of it.
You kind of have to.
Not really. Like, look at the past two Spider-Man, like, series. Yeah, there were CG, but it wasn't like this intense. You know what I mean? Maybe in Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 for the Sammy Raimi one, but there was only like certain parts where you'd be like, I could tell that's CG. You know what I mean? Whereas this one, everything's CG. Yeah, Sammy's Spider-Man was pretty tame with it. Like, you could tell there was CG only on certain parts, though. And we know Daredevil's going to be in it because the actor, the Netflix actor, finished his scenes. So my theory that he was Spider-Man's lawyer is probably coming true, and I'm like, thank God.
Well, to be fair, it's been confirmed too that they've been filming courtroom scenes, or they haven't been filming them. They just finished casting for a courtroom scene.
Well, no,
Spider-Man.
We knew he was going to go to court. That was kind of something we knew.
Yeah.
But we didn't know who his lawyer was going to be. I thought it was one of two things: She-Hulk or Daredevil. But then they said She-Hulk's having her own series, so I'm like, I think it's Daredevil. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you this. I don't know if you read the picture that I sent you a while back.
Probably, but I don't remember it. I'll look up the actual actress's name, but I think the casting role for She-Hulk's not too bad.
But there was the encyclopedia that was the Marvel encyclopedia that was brought back up, right?
What?
The Marvel encyclopedia book with like every character and every villain. there was a picture that surfaced about it, right? Specifically on one person who's been mentioned for WandaVision.
Pause. It's Tatiana Maslany. I probably butchered her last name, but that is the actress playing She-Hulk. And Hulk, you know, Bruce Banner is going to be in it. Same, and Abomination from the Incredible Hulk movies also going to be in it, replaying his role as Abomination, and I'm so excited for that. It's Tim Ruth is the guy that plays Abomination. Yeah, she didn't ring a bell, but when you look her up and you look at her, I could see it. Like I'm not like against it or like 100% for it. I'm like, okay, I'll see what we got. You know what I mean? But Panda, you were saying about the encyclopedia person that's in WandaVision?
Yeah. So no, the encyclopedia has page for almost every character and every villain, and they have one on Mephisto. And this, with WandaVision tying into the next two movies, being Spider-Man 3, No Way Home, as we now know the title,
Yeah.
and Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, it begs this question as far as how close will they stick to comic origins, I guess you can say, because of the fact that, yeah, Daredevil could be in
Well, he is.
Spider-Man 3. Now, they also have this on, and I'm just going to read this word for word as the encyclopedia says it.
All right.
Under Mephisto's page. It's under cutting deals. It says Mephisto made a deal with Spider-Man to save his Aunt May Parker and erase memory of Spider-Man's secret identity from the world.
Oh yeah. I
In
know what you're
exchange
talking
for
about.
destroying his marriage to Mary Jane Watson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Now, replace the words marriage and Mary Jane Watson. You almost have exactly what's happening to Peter right now.
What?
You have exactly what's happening to Peter right now. His identity's been revealed. He's going to be looking for a way out of that.
I'm gonna debunk your theory once you finish up here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, nor do I really want it to happen. But it could very well be a case that they could make. You know what I mean?
What they're probably gonna do is that it's a scroll. They're gonna have a scroll come in and shapeshift as Spider-Man and do Spider-Man stuff, and then, you know, Daredevil's gonna be like, my client cannot be Spider-Man when he's obviously out there doing Spider-Man things. You know what I mean? And then boom, case dismissed. It'll probably be something like that, because that's happened in the comics as well, where someone impersonated Spider-Man and did Spider-Man things at the same time Peter was there to prove that he wasn't Spider-Man.
Majority of the population knows about scrolls.
No? Only
Yes.
government people know about scrolls. And plus, if the scroll doesn't shapeshift in public, you can't prove that he is or isn't Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
I don't think they'll go that. I don't know.
I think that's the
it'll be
more, especially with the scrolls that they're putting more into the MCU, because obviously they're setting up for Secret Invasion. That's probably what they're going to do for Spider-Man 3, is like, it'll be a court scene. He'll be like, oh, no, you know, how do I do this? And then they're going to find a scroll, or he's going to call Nick Fury and he'll be like, I got you covered kind of deal. They'll have a scroll shapeshift into Spider-Man. They'll do Spider-Man things while Peter's in court, and then boom. I don't think they're going to do Super Scroll, but they will probably do some kind of teasing for it. But that would be dope. Where's Ebony the Cat in WandaVision? I don't know where Ebony the Cat is. We've seen Easter eggs for the cat, like in, what was it, episode 2? The intro had like the kitty litter.
Yeah.
The cat food.
Or the kitty litter.
Whatever. But
See,
it could be Senor Scratchy is the cat.
Is supposed to be the cat.
Yeah.
But it's a rabbit form. And the reason that...
You know,
this is
for
what I said
appearance purposes.
I was telling Angel about this too. Maybe, you know, they couldn't do the cat route because maybe the actress has an allergy to cats. You know what I mean? Like, it could be something as simple as that. However, I mean, because I wouldn't put it past that cats are like a normal allergy to have to for certain people. So maybe that's why they have it as a rabbit instead of a cat. Or it could be for the cover up of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because maybe, who knows? Maybe tomorrow's episode she'll come out with a black cat, and we're just like, what?
What if? Nah, never mind. I had an idea. It's like, what if the cat was shapeshifted into like Dottie or something? You know, was someone in the town? But I was like, nah, I don't think that's how. I don't think they would go that route.
I don't think that's how that would work. It'd be cool.
It was an interesting thought.
That would be awesome, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just don't think they'll go that route because it's a bit too complicated. I mean, they can make it a super easy reveal.
Exactly. They could literally just...
It's California time, so probably 3 a.m.
Dude.
Oh, so here's a theory that I've also thought of.
Oh, Jesus.
What if Wanda is, like, arrested by the TVA?
Now...
Because she's a Nexus being.
Explain to me a little bit more about the TVA, because the only thing that I've seen about them, the only thing that I remember about... I don't remember anything about them, essentially. The only thing that I've seen from them is that they're in the Loki series.
So they basically... They monitor people who are, like, Nexus beings or anyone in general that alters the reality. Or changes it, like, drastically. For example, when Loki... Oh, no, I was going to go Loki. Loki got the Tesseract. That messed up with the reality and how the timeline was supposed to go. So, my assumption is when he starts messing with things and does whatever he wants to do, the TVA catches up with him and arrests him. Since Wanda is a Nexus being, and there is a reality-altering event happening, and we already know the TVA is confirmed in the MCU, so there's not like it's a huge thing. It could be that S.W.O.R.D. could call in for the TVA, or TVA comes in and helps S.W.O.R.D. out to capture Wanda and get her arrested. Something could go wrong and she poof just disappears, or you know, something of the sort. But it could be that the TVA is attempting or does arrest Wanda.
I like it.
Also, random theory: Owen Wilson's Mephisto.
That would be kinda funny. I'm not gonna.
It's like at the end, he sees Wanda, he's just like, wow. Wow.
That would actually be funny. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh,
He's
man.
supposed to be like this menacing, like devil character, and he has this whole spiel, and he into it. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
I would not.
Did Agatha make Wanda make the hex, or did Wanda make the hex and Agatha is making sure she stays? So we don't know. From what I think happened, my end, is Agatha possessed or controlled Wanda to build up the hex and the events there, because she obviously can control her and manipulate her, at least her mind. So I think that's probably what happened, because throughout the series, and I think she's the one in control of the hex too, because throughout the series, everyone's like, she's in my head, get her out, she's in my head, but they never say Wanda. Yeah, they don't say who specifically. So it could be that Agatha's in everyone's head trying to control everything. Because to start off, everything kind of alters around Wanda when it comes to the people and like those matrix glitches. And she doesn't really have any control of it except for that one time where the Beehive agent came out of the sewers. And she even admits she doesn't know how any of this started. It's probably because Agatha controlled her and took control of this entire situation, probably with some deal like you were mentioning with the Spider-Man thing where his secret's out and he makes a deal. It could be that she loses vision, makes a deal with Mephisto, gets his body, and then Agatha kind of like takes over from there.
Yeah. Now, another thing too.
Monica said Wanda's in my head though. When did she say that? I may have missed that.
She never said it.
Because I heard that she said, like, it's Wanda, it's all Wanda, but I don't remember her saying, like, Wanda's in my head.
She never said Wanda was in my head. It was when she got blasted out of the hex, and S.W.O.R.D. surrounded her, and she opened her eyes, and she's like, it's Wanda, it's all Wanda.
Wait.
And then episode ended.
Maybe it was in that next episode she said it.
I don't think, because the only thing that we really saw from the next episode was when she was trying to get the lab work done.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I was actually going to bring up to you, Zeus.
Oh.
We do see that shot of Wanda crying in front of Westview. It was
Where?
just really split. When they were looking at Monica, when Monica was being evaluated, she has that moment, and then it's really split. It's really quick. You blink and you miss it almost.
Dude, I'm gonna have to go
But
back and check that because I do not
It is
remember.
a flashback of it. Because Monica is like, I can feel Wanda's pain, and I can relate to her almost. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Monica's making a case for Wanda.
Her saying that she felt nothing but grief and things like that. Yeah, that's probably because that's what Wanda was feeling, and Agatha could be like projecting her feelings, or Wanda could have been projecting her feelings.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. Or Agatha
really
took
good
control first and then gave it to Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Also, I know people have been talking about Monica's eyes at the end of episode 7. I don't think that's anything. I don't think she's under any hex or anything. That's just her being able to see the light.
Hold on. Okay. Her eyes were purple.
Yes, but you have
They're
to remember,
usually
too,
blue. When she activated her powers, they were blue.
Yes, I know, but one of her abilities and one of her powers is to be able to see everything on like a light spectrum almost, and just see the energy and everything.
Right.
So it could have just been she was seeing the energy, and that's what made her eyes purple. You know what I mean?
I don't
But-
think.
That's always a possibility. She could be under her spell. People are also saying that this is a theory too.
Oh.
Let me read you this one.
Because I was going to say, I think it could have been that Agatha via Pietro is taking control of Monica, but I don't think Monica stays controlled for long. I think she breaks out.
Let me read you this one, right?
Maybe there's a scroll in the hack. There could be a scroll. What if Dottie's the scroll? Because Dottie's actress says that she has a bigger role to play. Could be that she's the scroll.
Again, I don't think she has a bigger role.
I mean, it's hey, we're just going
It's a
off of what we
possibility.
heard. And what if that the scroll was the missing person, but they could shapeshift? I mean, it's a stretch, but it's a possibility.
It's a possibility. We'll have to see. So this person put a whole trilogy theory out. Right?
How do you have a
All three-
trilogy theory?
of all three? The WandaVision, Spider-Man, Strange. How they all tie into one another.
Oh, okay.
So his WandaVision one, and this is the only one that we're gonna go over. And I'm just gonna read it straight, and I'll let you share your thoughts on it.
All right.
It says it opens up. WandaVision opens up the multiverse as a result of Wanda's instability and her Nexus being status. Agatha captures Billy and Tommy. Wanda, Monica, Vision, and Quicksilver, who wakes up from Agatha's spell after Wanda blasted him in episode 6, fight Agatha. However, she seems too powerful. She is eventually defeated by all four. This is when Doctor Strange turns up. He confirms Agatha was not alone. We find out Quicksilver is from a different reality.
So Manny over here says that Jimmy Woo's the big bad of the series. I could see it. You see his magic. Obviously, he's the big bad. He's Mephisto. Come on.
Crazy ass. Come on. He's definitely
He's obviously Mephisto. Like, come on. No one that
something
cool.
that we don't know.
No one that cool exists in the MCU. Like, come on now.
Exactly. Come on now. You really think he learned that magic too? He taught that magic.
Yeah, we all know he didn't teach him that magic trick.
Come on now. The YouTube video in the end credits was a lie.
Yes, the YouTube video, that was a lie. He made the video himself.
I just love that dude.
So, shoot me back the theory that you... Harris, can you send it to me? That way I can just read it.
Yeah, let me take a screenshot of it.
Okay, that works.
No one gets coffee forever.
What was that?
Exactly, dude.
Dude,
I don't
for
know
real.
about you, but I can't drink coffee like that, man.
Dude, see...
They're knocking it down constantly. I'm
So,
like, I can't do that. There's
what
something
happens
up.
is Jimmy's Mephisto, okay? And what he does is, instead of consuming kids by eating them like Agatha, he turns them into coffee, and he drinks them.
Dude, that's dark.
That's...
Stop.
That got really dark. You're welcome, guys.
No pun intended on that one.
Okay, let me read this theory. Let's see. Opens up...
It's just the top where it says Wanda.
Okay, so with that theory, that's not a bad one. That is not a bad theory.
It's not accurate though.
I'm not saying
it's already debunked because of the fact that Quicksilver is still under Agatha's power because he's not.
Well, the way the events happen doesn't necessarily have to line up in a row. You know, it could be that it happens later.
But with the way that, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I'm like, the core events of this theory is not too far off. Like, I mean, not that it's not too far off. It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
I also don't see Wanda becoming a protagonist in this, especially if she is an antagonist in Doctor Strange 2.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think she's more of the victim role in this series than a protagonist or an antagonist. I think she's just a victim of the events that happen around her.
But if that were the case, you know what I mean? And if they were still trying to push her as like a hero, but the victim, she would have sided with Monica when what's her name came out. Agatha
but when Agatha popped up, did you? I don't know if you noticed, but did you see the expression on Wanda's face? Like, she looked like she was basically dummied, like she was underneath her control without any magic involved. It was like an influential kind of deal. Because as soon, like, she was contemplating things, you know, when her and Monica were talking, but when Agatha came in and put her hands on her, Wanda kind of just like broke down like a toy.
I don't think that's anything though, because in order for the power to be there, you would have to see the magic itself. You know what I mean? Just like when Wanda uses it, we see the power. You know what I mean?
It could have been when their backs were turned to us, though.
It still would have had a glow. I'm convinced it would have had a glow behind it.
I'm not saying this is 100% true, but I think that Agatha has a lot more influence and hold on her than what is led to be.
Nova, I really hope Captain Marvel does appear, only because I want answers as to what the hell happened. Why is it so embarrassing to be associated with Captain Marvel?
Yeah, that's one thing too. This series has said that being associated with Captain Marvel is not a good thing right now.
Also,
and that could go into my scroll theory too.
Also,
what?
I'm also really convinced that certain Marvel fans look for stuff that's really not there all the time, because of the fact that when we saw the Major come up in episode 7 when she was talking to Monica, and that was like, that's not the only one we're loyal to. They were pointing at the insignia on her hat as like, oh, it's Captain Marvel, it's Captain Marvel. No, that's the rank for Major. That's the symbol for the Major rank. It's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know who would think that's Captain Marvel. I'd never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Dude, but I swear, the people that you're like, you look through or like talk to about this stuff are like some dumb people sometimes.
I don't talk to them about it. I correct
you just read it
where I can.
Golly.
I correct where I can, but it's just so difficult.
I bet. I mean, so going into the engineer, do we think it's a Fantastic Four member? Because I'm like 85% sure at this point it's a Fantastic Four member. Especially with it being aerospace and there's a Fantastic Four movie in place in the next couple of years. And to kind of like, even though this was, you said this bit was a stretch, but even though like they did the Office style episode and Vision kind of was doing...
Movies,
there you go. Yeah. It could
like,
be my favorite theory or favorite fan cast, John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. I mean, and then there was also the whole deal where it was female, what was it, female pronouns or whatever in the Spanish subtitles. So it could be Sue.
Now that one actually okay. So this was another thing that came up because in that same group they had put that up there about how it's Reed Richards, blah blah blah, and I had put that up there. I was like, I don't necessarily think it is because of the choice of pronoun used. Um, However, somebody did point out that in the German version, it is the male pronoun. So it's very.
It could just be one of those.
Floppy.
Yeah, it could just be one of those things where it kind of keeps you guessing.
Yeah.
See, and I saw this thing floating around that Jennifer Lawrence is going to be Sue Storm. I don't know why people are thinking that when they have not even casted or even started producing the movie because the director is too holed up with Spider-Man 3. Blue Marvel.
Blue Marvel is actually one name that keeps coming up a lot.
That name is so familiar. I think I know who that is, but I'm looking it up to confirm who I think it is.
Blue Marvel is what I don't really have enough information about to be able to form an opinion on. So
I'm not the only one that noticed Spectrum wearing her Spectrum outfit in this last episode, right? Black Ranger? What? No, this isn't freaking Mighty Morphin, man.
Oh my! Imagine though.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be hilarious.
Last episode was crazy.
Yeah. It was.
Okay, so Blue Marvel's been around for a minute. So, Manny, when you're saying that it might be Blue Marvel, do you mean the aerospace engineer as Blue Marvel?
Yes, that's what he's referring.
That's what he's referring to. Okay.
Yes, because that's what everybody's been saying as far as like, oh, it could be Blue Marvel is the aerospace engineer.
You know, it'd be cool. Since Spectrum is technically like the second Captain Marvel, what if there's like a Captain Marvel Civil War? Especially because no one apparently likes Captain Marvel at the moment for some unknown reason, which is a legitimate reason. Like, I don't like her either. The actress, not the character. So, my knowledge on Blue Marvel is very little, so I can't say for sure or not. But that would be nice to have him in there.
It would. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I got you, man. Who else could they do as the aerospace engineer? Because I'm thinking it's Fantastic Four related. I mean, there's also theories that it's Hank McCoy. She thinks she's better than everyone else, character and actress. Honestly, you're not too far off there, man. Not too far off. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the actress at all. I think her freaking 5 head's annoying as heck. Dude, like, for real. I feel like they could have done a better actress for it. And then the movie was trash too, but I did not like the movie at all. They could have did that way better.
For what again?
Captain Marvel.
Oh.
Yeah, the movie was trash.
I don't want to talk about that.
We're not here to traumatize people.
I mean,
I don't think there's anyone else that could be the aerospace engineer, though.
there's very few people that it could be. And that's the problem with it.
Brie Larson was only good in that movie.
Facts. Facts.
Then she was good in 21 Jump Street, but that's because she kind of played the same role in both movies.
There's... Shut up.
You don't like how I'm right now?
No, shut up. I've seen 21 Jump Street, I don't know how many times. You're telling me Brie Larson is in that movie?
Yes! Dude! Okay, so you lazy forgot about it. Yeah, she's in it. She's the love interest for Jonah Hill's character in the first one.
She's what?
The love interest for Jonah Hill's character in the first one.
Shut up.
Dude, really? Everyone. See, I'm glad I'm not the only one that used to forget that. She was so like not noticeable, I guess.
Thank you. At least I'm not alone on this one. How in the hell
Yeah.
did I not? What the heck, dude? I don't know. That's trippy.
Yeah, threw you guys for a loop there.
That's really trippy, and I don't know why.
Okay, so who do you think is gonna be? I think Ralph is Mephisto. Like throwing that out there. I think Ralph's Mephisto. Just for the whole. I read a thing where it's like the biggest thing the devil did was made people think that he didn't exist. And we never see Ralph ever. The only one that mentions him is Agnes. Or Agatha. And she is closely tied to Mephisto. So he is going to make an appearance 100%. He could be the missing person. It's a possibility since we haven't seen him at all. He could be... But who would play him? That's the thing.
Al Pacino.
No, I don't want Al Pacino to play him. He's too old. He honestly doesn't... I mean, maybe if he was younger, he could play Mephisto. But no, not him now. God, no. It's kind of tough, though.
It's really tough to say. So I don't know, but I don't know. I really don't.
I don't know any old white guys that would play him that well. I mean, Gary Oldman. That would be nice. I don't think he would do it, but that would be nice. Because he's actually a really great actor and a good villain.
Yeah.
What each of the commercials meant in the show. Panda, you want to do that? That's your forte?
Could you quickly say what each of the commercials meant? Okay, so the commercials... There's two theories about the commercials. One being that it's just signifying the trauma that Wanda has been through throughout her entire life, essentially. Without going through every single one of them, because that would take a lot of time. The first one being the Stark toaster or Stark products being, that was the bomb that was the missile that one detonated and blew up their entire freaking home, and then the second one landed and didn't explode, and it landed like right next to him. So that was the trauma sensation that she had there. The second one was for a Strucker watch. Strucker being the one who they experimented on them.
Baron von Strucker.
And basically helped unlock Wanda's powers to begin with. The third one being Hydra soap.
That mind control soap.
Yeah, the mind control soap. And also just to call back to Hydra. So that's what they're all doing.
There's the Yo Magic one, which that one is...
Okay, so...
Love that commercial. Traumatizing as frick.
Is the start of Agatha.
The fact that she's surviving by sucking on Yo Magic.
The fact that Wanda is surviving. Wanda's not surviving.
Oh, no, I know. Agatha's surviving. Agatha's surviving off of her magic.
Yes.
Whereas Wanda's, like, being drained, basically.
Exactly.
Or Mephisto. I think the shark's Mephisto. Agatha's more of a middleman.
Of the commercial and stuff, I would say Agatha is the shark. Only because of that.
I'm still rolling with Mephisto. What was it? Oh, there's the Nexus one. And
the Nexus one being the most recent one, yes.
Yeah, the Nexus is two things. One is a cross-dimensional, gateway to multiple multiple realities and realities in between realities. And then it could also be about the Nexus beings, which aren't tied, or like, they weren't tied to like any one reality. They're like constant throughout all. And Scarlet Witch is one of them. Loki's one of them. And the TVA are people that track Nexus beings to make sure they don't like alter or ruin realities. Which in the Loki trailer we see Loki being under custody by the TVA, which is where my theory earlier came into play, where Wanda could be arrested or like targeted by the TVA in this series. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but it's a possibility to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I had one. Oh, speaking of the commercials, I've seen a theory that the people in those commercials, the man and woman that play in them, are Wanda's parents. I don't know how I feel about that one, to be honest.
I mean, considering the fact that they are the same two actors every time, it could be a viable theory. However, I'm not 100% sure about that.
Right? Like, it's plausible, but I'm not sold.
Very plausible.
I have a theory that it's the actual doctors that experimented on Wanda. And that's why they're constant.
I wouldn't say that.
But, okay, just hear me out on this one. That's why they're so constant throughout the entirety of it, because she'll remember them specifically because they're the specific doctors that experimented on her, assigned by Baron von Strucker, you know?
Yeah.
It's a possibility. I'm not saying this is 100%, you know, I have hard cold facts. This is just kind of like a speculative theory.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I don't know who else they could be, though. They're definitely Hydra related. I feel like that. They're definitely Hydra related.
I believe they are.
They are or aren't?
Are.
Man, I don't know who else they could be.
That is a very... I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick to that. I think they're the doctors that experimented on her. That's my theory on it.
It could very well be.
So how do we think these next two... Well, I suppose they're two. It could be 3 episodes. How do we suspect these are going to play out? Because we're at the climax of the series right now.
Again, I see tomorrow's episode being a recap of the different events of how everybody got there, as far as, you know, Wanda and Agatha and how the Hex actually came to be and all that.
It's got to be a long episode.
I just see them recapping it in the best form possible, in the best way possible, I guess you could say. Other than that, I mean, I don't...
If they go that route, I feel like it's going to be a mix of flashbacks and, like, actual present-day events. I think that's probably what's going to happen, if they go that route. If we're going off of the thing that there's only 2 episodes left, that's probably what's going to happen, is, like, half the episode's flashbacks to, like, the lead up to the series, or to the start of the series, and the other half is just, you know, the events going down, like Vision kicks down the basement door and shoots Agatha with his indestructible head. Oh my gosh. Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. You took the words right out of my mouth, Nova. I'm so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, I forgot that Vision's on his way to Wanda, and Darcy's, like, in transit. She's kind of stuck. And then Monica's captured, ? Wanda's underneath Agatha's control. I mean, that's really it. Everyone else is just kind of like in limbo. Yee. What's up, Casey? Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. But the end of the episode, the last episode's probably, it's the climax, obviously. And supposedly these next 2 or 3 episodes are going to be where the big fights are happening. So we're going to see big boy fights. And remember in the trailer, Wanda's like, this is our home, we have to protect it. And Vision's like, so we'll fight for it, yada, yada, yada. So they're obviously fighting someone, which I assume is Agatha at this point. Where's Quicksilver?
Quicksilver was at the end credits, and we believe he is under Agatha's spell.
Yeah, Quicksilver's working with Agatha, obviously. Whether he is a construct or her son is up for debate. But for sure is working with Agatha by some means. And I just kind of hate that we're like, yeah, we're kind of like 2 to 3 episodes left, and we still have so many questions.
2 episodes left.
I'm saying 2 or 3 because what if they do the mystery 3rd episode?
Don't think it'll happen because they confirmed it to be a 6-hour runtime and we're already at 4.2 hours.
And that's why they lied to us, freaking Disney. Hey, anything's possible in this show, man.
Anything is possible. Yeah, I'm not gonna put it past them, but I mean, at the same time, you know what I mean. If we have one thing that says confirmed,
how does Wanda's
kids have a British brother? You know what? I said the same thing when that happened.
Don't think too much into it, man. This just happens because
Yeah.
Billy's got her powers, Tommy's got
Because I mean,
Tommy's got
wanted-
his uncle's powers. There, I can't speak.
I mean, because I was gonna say, if you really want to be technical about it, how did Quicksilver even get super speed when his father's Magneto?
Oh my gosh, you're right.
You know what I mean?
I didn't even think of that.
If you really want to delve into that realm, how did he get super speed with a dad who can control iron and metal?
See, and there's Polaris, which is, I think, the older sister of Scarlet Witch. She has Magneto's powers. Scarlet Witch has sorcery. And Quicksilver has speed. Don't know why. I mean, it could just be one of those genetic things where it, like, skips a generation. You know what I mean?
Could very well be. It also goes to the fact that, well, like, you can't say that because it's not MCU related. But, and then it's actually kind of wrong at the same time. But it was like, how do Alex and what's his name, dude?
Talk about Cyclops.
Scott. Yes. How do they have the same powers, or how do they have? How come one shoots out of his eyes and the other one shoots out of his chest, but it's the same power?
Different types of mutation.
Yeah.
Because a lot of because Juggernaut's Professor X's brother.
Yep.
And they have 2 completely different powers. But they're super OP. Also, apparently Magneto and Iron Man fought before Iron Man won. That doesn't make sense.
How did Iron Man win when...
Magneto can literally control metal. There's no way Iron Man could win or should win.
Magneto should win that.
That's easy. Like, has anyone seen X-Men, X2, X3? Wolverine has adamantium in his body. And this man tries charging Magneto, and this Magneto just catches him like, you fool. Okay, how did he... Tell me this. Riddle me this, Batman. How in the world are you going to prep using metallic objects against a metallic controlling user?
Okay, so I saw this too, and they were like, he made a suit that that doesn't involve iron or metal or anything like that. To which somebody else then debunked. It's like, you do realize the fact that he has literal iron in him. Like, it's not just what should we call it? It's not just the suit. It's literally a part of him.
He can generate and manipulate magnetic fields, which allows him to control metal, levitate, create force fields, use telepathic mind control. Okay, what? And generate electromagnetic pulses. That's Magneto's powers.
Yep.
So, that doesn't make sense. He should not be able to be the Iron Man. Because Magneto is literally one of the most OP characters in the Marvel universe. Well, that and his daughter, and Ben Richards.
Exactly.
And Professor X.
But
and a bunch of others.
I have to go.
No, you shall depart from me. No.
I shall depart because I got to shower and I got to get ready for me work day tomorrow.
Departing is such sweet sorrow.
I know. It's been fun. Thank y'all for tuning in
I
and
will miss
listening
you.
to my bullshit theories.
I will miss you.
And if you are still on by the time I am done prepping for work day tomorrow, I shall hop back on.
Alright, man. I'll catch you later.
Right. Yeah, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Okay, Schladies, let me hear you guys' theories on this entire series. Darwin watching the stream right now. Who the frick is Darwin? Please don't tell me you mean, like, Charles Darwin. Darwin from X-Game? X-Game? X-Men? Bro, my mind just freaking died on me just now. Darwin from X-Men? Hold up a second. Who the frick is Darwin? I'm not remembering any Darwin. The frick is this guy's powers? Oh, snap! I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the freaking black guy. Dude, that took me a second. I had to figure out who the frick you were talking about. Darwin's such a freaking basic name, man. Man, they did that guy wrong. He was an OP character, and he just freaking exploded. I wonder how this show is going to affect the rest of the universe. Because Spider-Man 3 is going to be literally hectic as frick. You got Daredevil's going to be in it. Apparently Doctor Strange is in it, or at least something about his sanctum is in it. You have Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and their villains in it as well. To what degree, I have no idea. And then there's Doctor Strange 2, which is the conclusion of this unofficial trilogy of multiverse madness, with WandaVision number 1, Spider-Man 3 is number 2, then Doctor Strange 2 is number 3. Freaking Marvel, man. Always messing with your mind. We have 6 hours till a new episode comes out, too. Just like, I don't think I will help. Nah, I don't think I will. Dude, did you know it's confirmed that Captain America, old Cap, was actually in a different reality and had to come back to the main reality to give Sam the shield? Which I was like, they should have just left it where he was in that main reality the whole time. That would have been so much better. Because he deserved that. He deserved main timeline events happening. And there's also going to be... So after this show ends, there's Falcon and Winter Soldier, which takes place, like, I guess, in the same time zone or time frame. It's after Endgame, and it's, I think, after WandaVision, because WandaVision is like 3 weeks after Endgame, and it's in the span of like a week or two. And then you have Loki to take place after that, but Loki's technically in a different timeline as well? Question mark? Unknown. And then me and Panda were talking yesterday. The time, if you think about the placement for Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, and WandaVision, the timeline of it's really confusing. Okay, so I don't think the Avengers are together right now. But if you're talking about from the main Avengers lineup, it's Hulk is left, Hawkeye is left, Thor, and that's it. Because Iron Man's dead, Captain America's dead, and that's all there was. Yeah. And then Hawkeye's training a new Hawkeye, because I guess he's Ronin right now. Hulk is doing his own thing. He's going to be with She-Hulk in the She-Hulk series. And Thor's out in space doing stuff with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't think Thor's coming back to Earth for a minute. Hulk's probably just doing his own thing. And then Hawkeye is also doing his own thing. Dude, Black Widow got intimate with that floor. What are you talking about? They got on a first name basis. They're like, hey, how you doing? It's like, I'm doing great. Splat. I like the way you splat, girl. Let's do it again. That's what happened. They're trying to set up Captain Marvel to be like the new big main in the MCU. To no avail so far. Not working. Red Skull like, damn, you good girl. Red Skull's like, I sit here and watch people die for my own enjoyment. Whips out the lotion. Just, I'm gonna need you to die, girl. Right now. Jump off that ledge. Right now. Please. That's what he's doing. Spider-Man's probably going to be an Avenger. They're going to bring in the new Hawkeye. You have Ant-Man and Wasp. And I think they recasted Ant-Man's daughter, so they're probably going to set her up for a hero character. They're going to do Ironheart, which I'm super pissed about because it should be Iron Lad. Ironheart is like terrible character. Iron Soldier? Nah. You mean War Machine? Who the frick is Iron Soldier, my dude? I don't know what they're gonna do with Ant-Man and the Wasp. It seems like they don't even try. Like, the first movie was good, but the second one was really bad. I think they're just using them as like a middle ground. They're just using them to set up stuff, which sucks. Yeah, War Machine. Because War Machine has the Iron Wars, I think is called, where he has to get all of the suits of Iron Man back. Kang is on the way. Kang is the villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium. So Iron Lad is definitely a thing. I was hoping they were going to have the kid from Iron Man 3 to become like Iron Lad, you know what I mean? That would have been cool, because he's kind of grown up now, and it would have been better than Ironheart, because she's a terrible character. I'm really pissed about that. There's the Iron Wars, which that'll be interesting. We could see Iron Patriot, like Norman Osborn kind of Iron Patriot, come into play, which that'll be pretty cool. I don't know how Iron Man's suits go into the wrong hands when he destroyed like almost all of them in Iron Man 3, and all he had was like nanotech. So I don't get how that's gonna work. There's also Secret Invasion that's happening, which it's good that they're doing a series off of, but I feel like it's not going to be as good as we want it to be. Iron Lad has a connection to Wiccan and Tommy. He creates Vision 2, so it's a possibility. Right? It is a possibility, especially with the whole multiverse that they're doing in this next two phases. Since they're expanding the multiverse, or the multiverse ideas, it's not too far off. Because since Kang's definitely going to be the big bad, Iron Lad's probably going to come into play. Maybe bring Wiccan and Tommy to life or to creation, or come into from his timeline. Who knows? They could also help help Ant-Man out. Mysterio's dead, right? I don't think Mysterio's dead. I think he faked his death. Because, one, he's the master of illusions. Like, you saw the crap he did in that movie. Like, there's no way he just lets himself die. You know what I mean? I think he is alive, and he's framing everything up so that way he can bring down Spider-Man. Because he's done it a bunch of times in the comics. He would, Fake his death. Fake his death. To make it seem like he's dead and then he'll come back. Because he's master of illusions. He can make anything be what he wants it to be. And I honestly hope he's not dead because Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job as Mysterio. And he was a great character that they used. And he could be so good in so many other things too. Because that'd be a great way to set up Sinister Six. To have him. And then if... Oh, and one thing Panda mentioned to me. They think Ned is going to be Hobgoblin. Ned, like the fat dude, Spider-Man's buddy. Because that guy lost a crap ton of weight and has an orange hoodie, which orange hoodie doesn't necessarily mean anything. But in the comics, Ned does become Hobgoblin via brainwashing. So that could be something. Let me let you know the release date for Carnage 2. They're not going to put them in the MCU yet, though. June 25th of this year is supposedly the release date of Venom 2. And that one has Carnage in it. And the guy directing it's going to be Andy Serkis, which Andy Serkis is the guy that does all the motion pictures for like Golem, Caesar from Planet of the Apes. What else has he done? He's done so... he was Snoke in Star Wars. I saw that guy in Ironheart too, which was crazy. But that guy's a great actor, and he does a lot of good motion pictures, or motion picture movement. Motion pictures just sound dumb. But to have him in charge of a CG pretty oriented movie is going to make it a lot more cleaner and fluent. I don't know how I feel about Woody Harrelson being Carnage, though. It's definitely interesting. When I saw that end credit scene, I cringed so hard. I was like, this is pretty bad. Like the obvious wig, and Woody Harrelson's a good actor, but I don't think he did a good job. I mean, hopefully we see more in the trailer and whatnot, but I don't know, man. It'll be tough. And then there's Baron Zemo in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which there's a theory saying like his mask is actually based off of Thanos' face. I don't know who the enemy in Spider-Man 3 is. I don't think it's going to be a particular enemy, per se. It could just be because Spider-Man's identity is out there. You know what I mean? So I think a good chunk of the movie is going to deal with him trying to cover it up or try to deal with that, which is my theory on that. He asks Nick Fury for help, and Nick Fury sends a Skrull. Skrull shapeshifts into Spider-Man. Boom. Easy peasy. Daredevil has already filmed his role, or filmed some scenes in the movie, so he's more than likely the lawyer, and so he's going to help it out. Bro, everybody wants a piece of Peter. Piece of Peter? Peter Pizza? Yeah, Peter Pizza. That's what they want. And there could be the whole, since the multiverse is becoming broken essentially because of the events of WandaVision, different people from Garfield's Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, like the villains, are probably going to be antagonists in the movie because, what's his face? Jamie Foxx's Electro is going to be in it. Apparently the Goblin from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is going to be in it too. The guy that plays Dr. Octopus is supposedly going to be in it from Maguire's Spider-Man. And then Garfield himself and Maguire are supposedly going to be in it as well. So you have that stuff all happening in here as well. Do you mean Iron Man? Because if you're saying Iron Man, then no, he is dead. He is kaput, you know, gone. 100%. Yeah, I don't know who else you would mean by Iron at that time. Let me check something here real quick. Let's see what else is happening in the MCU. There's Captain Marvel 2, which has ties to Miss Marvel, which I cannot believe they're making a show off that. Sandman, Rhino, Scorpion. Not that I've heard of. Scorpion was supposedly already in what's it called? Spider-Man 1 in the end credit scene, which I always freaking missed. So I think he's already confirmed to be in the MCU. I don't know if he's gonna be a villain though. Sandman, there's no word on him. Rhino, no word on him. So I have no idea. Yeah, that's really it. I mean, there's a lot of Spider-Man villains they can do, but I don't think they're going to do that much. Especially with the director, John Watts. Like I said, I've been disappointed with his work. I don't think this movie's going to be that good. It's been underwhelming each time, so it's probably going to be that way this movie as well. They haven't done that great in the box office either. But I think Tom Holland's contract is up after this movie. So who knows if he's going to come back anyways. But they're still going to probably do like the Sony's universe of Marvel characters. So he might pop into there. So it's not that he doesn't exist. He probably does exist. It's just he hasn't unveiled himself. Because the X-Men movies aren't canon. Same thing with the other Fantastic Four movies. None of them are canon. So the mutants and whatnot, they could still be around, but they could just be like in hiding or secluded kind of deal. Because that's how they were in the comics too, was they kept to themselves most of the time. They're not going to bring in the mutants till like 5 years down the road. They have to really set it up for it, and they're trying to build up their characters that they have right now as well. So they're probably not going to bring him in for a minute, but they exist. I'm positive they exist. They've kind of been hinting of mutants in WandaVision, like in the Halloween episode. There was some mutant references in there, and the fact that the Mind Stone unlocked something that was already inside of Wanda could hint that she's a mutant as well. So it could be that too. Unclear though. So Deadpool 3 is MCU canon from my knowledge. The first two are not. I think because he took Cable's time machine or whatever, they're probably going to use that as a way of altering the timeline. So I don't know what they're going to do for Deadpool 3, but Deadpool's definitely in the MCU in some way, shape, or form. And that one's going to be rated R. That's the only one. That's the only MCU movie that will be rated R, though. I think that's the only one that they've confirmed. Everything else will always be PG-13 because the House of Mouse rules. Wolverine's dead in the X-Men universe, but he's probably alive in the MCU when they bring him in. They're just gonna recast him. Yeah, because I don't know how they're gonna do it, of course. You know, it's definitely gonna be an interesting way how they go about it, but yeah, I'm sure he's alive. It's just that the whole X-Men universe is just non-existent at this point. But alright, man, I'm getting kind of sleepy. So I'm probably going to hop off. Do we got any last minute thoughts or theories about WandaVision before I hop off? Doctor Doom in Spider-Man 3? I don't think so. Because it's a Fantastic Four villain. They might tease. I don't think he'll be in it, though. Just because there's a lot to that character as is. I mean, he could be in Black Panther 2. That would be an interesting way to tie him in, especially because he's like the ruler of his own country. That would be a nice way to tie him in, or at least tease him in there a little bit. Well, I'm getting off, guys. I do appreciate everyone for stopping by and talking about the theories and whatnot. Hold on, my scroll theory being in the hex. Yeah, I would hold on to that. Who knows? I don't think they're going to have scrolls in this, though. Probably in the other movies. Yeah, thank you for watching. Follow if you haven't already. Turn your notifications on. I could do more of these theory streams in the future if you guys really like them. Check out the Block Party. It's a nerd channel that we have Easter eggs and trailers and podcasts and whatnot on. So we post on there, and then I have my own channel. I just post gaming clips. But like I said, appreciate everybody for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next stream. Good night, everybody.